In this video, I'm going to hopefully help you to make an informed decision on whether to neuter your dog or not. I realise there will be many viewers who think this is being a bad dog owner, but I believe it can also be viewed as being a responsible owner. We all need to be well informed of the pros and cons. My dog is 11 years old and she has never had puppies and has never even come close to getting pregnant, even though I take her out walking daily when on heat. When I first decided not to neuter my female dog, I did loads of research, lots of reading, but I still had no idea what to actually expect, and it was a huge learning curve. So I hope this video can serve as educational for you. Firstly, I will discuss the reasons to neuter your dog. There are practical reasons. You may have to leave your dog outside and unattended when she's on heat. You may not want blood on the carpet. Your female dog may try to escape and find a male. There is an increased risk of memory cancer and an increased risk of pyometra. However, as far as I'm concerned, the health benefits actually far outweigh the negatives. For me, I actually have a giant breed dog, so there are many more health benefits for keeping my dog intact. However, this list below there's a lot of science to show the benefits of not neutering your dog, and these are still applicable to all breeds. So large breed dogs are less likely to suffer from hip and elbow dysplasia if unneutered. The hormones play a very important role in healthy bone mass development. There is a significantly lower risk of ACL, anterior cruciate ligament. There is a lower risk of urinary incontinence, overall reduced risk of cancer, lower risk of heart problems and tumours. Bernese suffer from bone cancer and the risk is significantly reduced in unneutered dogs. This has all been scientifically proven. However, aside from the science showing the health benefits, this all comes from my own experience in this video, as there is limited information and most people insist on neutering dogs, including veterinarians. I decided to give my dog the healthiest life possible, and this has paid off. My 11-year-old Bernese Mountain Cross is still running around the mountains, has no problems with mobility, and as far as annual vet checks go, no signs of heart or other disease. So what to expect? The first heat for a dog can be quite stressful for her. She is growing and suddenly has to contend with raging hormones. Her vulva increases in size, which is also a shock to us as well as the dog. Males start to be very interested and she may not want the attention, particularly at the start. So in the early stages, my dog started her first heat at 8 months. From then on, she's always come on heat at 8 months. I believe it depends on the breed of dog. Some can start at 6 months and others can start at maybe 10 months. But once you know the first amount of months for the heat, it's going to be the same amount every time. The first signs before the actual heat start are increased urination during walks. She's leaving her scent for potential males. My dog barks at males to tell them to go away if they decide to approach. She has an increased appetite. Next stage, you'll notice increased licking of her vulva, small spots of bright red blood on the floor. Her nipples become enlarged. You will see her vulva is increased in size, as can be seen in the photograph. Some dogs are visible from behind, but mine has too much fur, so I have to get her to lie on the ground and roll her over on her back and have a good look. She doesn't mind at all. Note, at this stage, she cannot get pregnant. I've read stories of females that jump fences to get to males. This may be true, but my dog has never shown an interest in running off after the males. What she does instead is she just sits on the terrace or in the garden and waits for them, and thankfully no males have actually ever turned up. The next stage. She continues to bleed throughout her heat, which lasts for approximately 3 weeks. It's actually not as bad as it sounds. There are spots on the floor and I allow her to lick herself. You can buy nappies for dogs, but I've never actually found the need for it. And my worry is that maybe this leads to an increased risk of pyometra, because if you're covering her vulva and she's unable to keep herself clean, this could lead to an increase in bacteria, and that is what causes pyometra. Although she cannot get pregnant for the first week, it is better to not walk locally. This encourages all the male dogs to get her scent, get excited, and my dog actually hates this. After about 8 to 10 days, the blood changes to a straw-like colour. This is a sign that she can now become pregnant. Another sign that she starts to flag her tail. This is her ready to accept a male. This video is made to show you what flagging means. It's an instinctive behaviour where she moves her tail aside to allow the male to enter. The male in this video is castrated, and I did stop the behaviour after filming. Now becomes the difficult stage. For the next 10 to 14 days, you need to keep a really close eye on your dog. If you are out walking, you have to keep them on lead and tell other owners your dog is on heat. Where I live, people understand, this is in Europe, and put their male on lead if they are also not neutered, which to be honest is fairly common here. No matter how responsive your dog is normally when she is on heat, she will want to search for males. However, I understand that for some of you, people may not be as open-minded, hence I have discussed the health benefits so you can be better prepared and inform them of your actual decision. So the final check. Males will show an interest in your female for several weeks after she finishes on heat, so it is important to do a simple physical check so you know whether or not she can become pregnant. When she is finished, her vulva will reduce back to normal size and there will be no more blood. For the first time on heat, this may take a little bit longer, so you do still need to keep an eye on her. She will no longer be flagging her tail. So now comes a false pregnancy. This is fairly common, and every single time my dog has been on heat, about 6 to 10 weeks later, she has a false pregnancy. She starts to whine, digs a hole in the garden, attempts to dig it on the tile floor in the kitchen, and also when out walking she will disappear behind a tree and you'll find her digging a huge hole, which of course for a big dog involves an awful lot of dirt. She moves the dog beds around on the floor, and in the early years she used to produce blood from her nipples too. She used to produce milk from her nipples too. I give her the same toy each time. She carries it everywhere. She's never destroyed it. She is never aggressive and actually very, very sweet. After about a week or two, she gives me her toy, walks off, and now her baby is mine to look after. And after that, she is completely back normal. So my advice is be sensible. I'm not advocating unwanted pregnancies and more puppies in the world. In fact, I've always adopted mine from rescue centres or from refuges in countries like Bosnia and Eastern Europe. Make the decision based on your personal circumstances. I believe we can make a better decision if we are informed of the pros and cons. Do not go to areas where dogs are running off lead. Avoid walking in your neighbourhood, particularly if your dog spends time in your garden and males have access to it.